Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Family Sedan channel. The SEC v. Ripple case could be over within a matter of days. That perspective coming from an ex-SEC director who is an attorney, and resulting in this headline from the Crypto Basic, ex-SEC director says Ripple lawsuit will end within days. So we're going to break this down and explain why he's saying that. But before going further, I do want to be clear that I do not have a legal or financial background of any kind. I am not offering legal or financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. Now, since the Hinman emails are out, came out a few days ago, as I'm sure everybody under the sun is aware by now, there was a theory that the judge would probably not rule on the summary judgment motions from the SEC and Ripple until that was done. Not that she couldn't have, but that was a perspective that was broadly accepted from the attorneys that I follow within the XRP community. So now that that's over and we've approached the end of this week, it just seemed from many people's perspectives to be a great time. Like even today, there are people that were thinking perhaps today this could have dropped, but increasingly it looks like the answer is no at this point. At the time that I'm recording this video, it's 6:03 p.m. Central Standard Time, and the judge, they're operating on the East Coast, which means that they're an hour ahead, so it'd be 7:03 Eastern Time over there. And so here was perspective from attorney Fred Rispoli. He wrote, sigh, hoped Judge Torres' ruling would be out this week now that pleadings were filed. It's past 4 p.m. on the East Coast, and federal court stuff usually start packing up and leaving for the weekend around this time. Come on next week. And so, folks, there is a legit chance that, fine, this week's over in terms of business days. Next week, we actually could finally have the ruling from the judge. One day, we're just going to wake up and we're going to see the headlines, or we're going to check our portfolios first and see that our net worth has gone up substantially, or it's decreased substantially based on the judge's ruling, because XRP is going to do something. I speculate that. I don't know what, because I don't know what the ruling is going to be, but I think XRP is going to be moving. Here is a comment from attorney Jeremy Hogan just a little over an hour ago. He tweeted out, no ruling in the Ripple v. SEC case this week, but you now have permission to wait with bated breath every Thursday/Friday from now on. So ordered. So for some reason, he seems to think that if it's going to be coming out, it's going to be on a Thursday or a Friday. I'm not sure what the rationale for this, but I trust him, so I'm going to take his word on that one. But either way, we are that close. So look, I'm just saying, if we see Attorney Rispoli and Attorney Hogan thinking that, yeah, it literally could have come out today, I'm gonna take their sage wisdom on that and just think, yeah, we probably really are that much closer to the finish line now, even if it's not happening today and it looks like it's not. So into this story from the Crypto Basic, ex-SEC director says Ripple lawsuit will end within days. A former SEC director predicts that the final verdict for the SEC v. Ripple case will come within days. Former SEC regional director Mark Fagel has speculated that the multi-year legal battle between the commission and Ripple Labs Inc. will soon come to an end. Fagel took to Twitter to discuss that U.S. District Judge Annalisa Torres, the presiding judge of the lawsuit, will issue a summary judgment decision within days. And so, folks, I'll just note, I'm happy to see this from all these attorneys that I follow, but I wasn't expecting that they'd be so bold as to state, yeah, probably within days. But look, they know how this stuff works and what the norms are, so I'm just going to take them at their words. I hope they're right. And there's no way they can know for sure, so I'm not going to be harsh on them if they're wrong. But I like hearing this because I'm ready for this damn thing to be over. How about you? Piece continues on. It bears mentioning that Fagel made the remark in response to a Twitter thread by Mr. Huber, a pseudonymous crypto sleuth and top XRP community influencer. Mr. Huber commented on the delay regarding the final verdict of the SEC v. Ripple lawsuit. He noted that further delay in Judge Torres' summary judgment decision could strengthen the argument that public reactions influenced her ruling. The XRP community member added that further delay in the ruling could also cause more confusion, which the parties may use as an argument. And he said, quote, to clarify once again, every day that passes between the disclosure of the Hinman emails and the classification of them by a court is a +1 for everyone's fair notice defense, end quote. So that was from Mr. Huber. Now, I respectfully disagree on that. When it comes to fair notice, the question has to do with leading up to the lawsuit, having to do with specifically the charges against Ripple and Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson. Did those people and Ripple, the company, have fair notice from the government, in this case the SEC, that what they were doing was illegal? So how long Judge Torres takes to come to a conclusion based on that is completely unrelated and it's irrelevant to the concept. So I just completely disagree, but respectfully disagree. Anyway, Peace continues here. Mr. Huber called on several attorneys, including John Deaton, Jeremy Hogan, and Fagel, to share their opinions. Reacting to the thread, Fagel emphasized his penchant for avoiding speculations, but stressed that he expects the presiding judge to issue her summary judgment within days. And let me go to the actual thread here so that you guys can see this. Here's what former SEC attorney Mark Fagel had to say. I try to avoid speculating, but my guess is a ruling is coming within days. Even if I'm wrong, there's no basis to think the delay is due to anything beyond the complexity of the case. I don't understand the greater confusion point. Ripple is substantially different from the more recently filed SEC enforcement actions, i.e., she needn't even weigh in on secondary market trade. I was pausing. That's certainly true, unfortunately, because I would love for her to be required to weigh in on secondary market transactions. It doesn't mean she won't, though. She understands the situation, and she can and may voluntarily choose to do that. In fact, Attorney Hogan, when he was on Crypto Law, that's John Deaton's YouTube channel, that live stream the other day, he was actually betting on her actually doing that. That was one of the arguments that he made, if memory serves, anyway. And I would love to see that. And again, with she understands how big of a case this is. She understands it's going to have global ramifications, and she gets the impact. She understands that the negative impact that would exist if there isn't something stated about secondary market trading. So I know, doesn't mean for sure. It's not something that she's required to cover, and so Attorney Fagel is correct about that, but I'm still optimistic she's going to. Anyway, Attorney Fagel continues. He says, her ruling is unlikely to address the email. So he's talking about the Hinman emails, of course. Ripple didn't move for summary judgment on fair notice, and it's likely to go to a jury, so still far off. So I'll pause note, yes, I mean, any aspect of this could go to a jury in theory. Now, if Ripple gets some bad news here, that's when fair notice would come up, and then that would probably go to a jury trial. That's what I've gathered from various attorneys that have spoken on that topic. So that could happen, that aspect, but you could, she could rule in other aspects of this case. Although if it did, we'll see if that did happen. Attorney Hogan was concerned that it could go as far as into early 2025, if that's the case, if there's going to be a jury trial. And then Attorney Fagel says, one caveat. I could see the ruling referencing the emails insofar as they evidence legal uncertainty in connection with a ruling on the individual defendant's liability. Not a sure thing, but possible. Yeah, so I get what he's saying there. When it comes to the Hinman emails, not really relevant to the case as it pertains to Ripple specifically, but when you're talking about fair notice specifically for Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson, yeah, they could totally come up. For sure they could come up here. And Attorney Deaton responded to Attorney Fagel, and Attorney Deaton said, in February 2021, I was interviewed and said back then that the single biggest mistake in the case was charging the individual executives with aiding and abetting, triggering a recklessness standard. I'm someone who disfavors summary judgments, but I believe no reasonable jury could find the two executives reckless. Yeah, and that's spot on. They overcharged, and then as a result, extra information came out that it's now seen the light of day as a result of that, and they did to themselves. They shot themselves in the foot, basically. That's it. So we close to the finish line, son. That's what it sounds like, anyway. I mean, that's exciting, right? I'm ready for this damn thing to be over. I don't know about you. Actually, I do know about you. We're all ready for it to be over. I think I can safely speak for literally everyone. We are ready for this damn thing to be over, so we can just go on with life, have clarity, and XRP move, right? Isn't that what we're looking for? We're hoping that happens. So we could see it next week. And according to at least Attorney Hogan, if it's going to happen, it's more probable to happen Thursday or Friday. So, I mean, what else are we waiting for here? Judge, you've had enough time. Come on. I kind of tease a little bit. Like, I'd rather have it done right than rushed. And the judge is certainly not going to rush this. So it'll come when it comes. And I'm optimistic, even if Ripple loses, which is a very real possibility, at least on some charge. I'm still optimistic for XRP in the United States, because all we need as XRP holders really is that clarity for secondary markets, and ideally an acknowledgement that the asset itself is not a security. That would go a step further, just to hammer the point home. But anyway, let me know what you think. I'll wrap up here. I am not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the Moon Family Sedan.